Farmers Policy Perks are that little extra something you can get when you're a Farmers customer. So to tell you about them, we're adding a little extra something to this ad. Another me. And when you have multiple Farmers policies, you could save up to 45% on your auto insurance with the Auto Multi-Policy discount. What's going on with our voice? I thought I'd add some drama. Well, isn't that something? Get a quote at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available with select Farmers branded policies. Subject to terms and conditions. Underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges, Farmers New World Life Insurance Company or affiliate.
Angie's List is now Angie, and caring for your home just got easier. Whether you need help with routine maintenance or a dream remodel, Angie makes it easy to see reviews, compare quotes, and connect with top local pros who can get the job done right. Plus, you can see upfront pricing and instantly book hundreds of projects. No phone tag, just the work you need done at a time that works for you. Angie's got your to-do list covered from start to finish. Book your next home project today at Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
That was the Chargers radio group, as you might have surmised. And apparently Tyler Conklin, that's the first time in his career. 2-touchdown game for Tyler.
He very seldomly has 2 catches in a game, let alone two touchdowns. Tyler's a good guy. He's been out there. He's a lunch bucket kind of a guy that's stayed within the system and done what they asked him to do. And obviously with Irv Smith going down, it's increased his role. They've tried to sign some other they've signed 3 other tight ends. One got hurt, of course, and a couple others are playing, but Conklin's become clearly the number one guy there. And he's one of those guys that it's like he didn't even expect to be here, and he's here. And he was a good basketball player back in college that ended up being a good football player. And one of those guys it's easy to root for. But Cousins got him twice yesterday. Once on a bullet down the middle, and then once on a floater that was almost like a balloon on 4th down. That really was maybe the biggest play of the game. And the NFL is so tight all the time. Not every game, but certainly for the Vikings, that there's always about 3 or 4 plays that should go. If they go the other way, the other team wins. And for the Vikings, even less than that. But the Gophers on Saturday, the same thing. I bet you there were 15 or 20 times when I'm watching that game going, this is the play that's going to decide the game. And then 3 minutes later you go, well, this is the play that's really going to decide the game. It's just like that because it can change the momentum. It can change everything. It can change it to a 2-possession game. And that's when football is really good, and that's why people love football.
Sports brought to you by the John Schuster Group at Caldwell Banker Realty. Maxie, let's pivot and talk Gophers basketball. The men and women both had big wins yesterday, right?
Yeah, different kinds of wins. The women just clamped down George Washington to 32 points and won 48-32, and they beat Arizona State on Friday as well. So they got a nice twofer over the weekend on the road, and then coming back home. And they denied a lot of opportunities for George Washington yesterday. Made it tough for them. It wasn't necessarily a pretty game, but it was a win. The Gopher men's team tried to give it away at the end a couple of times to Princeton. I mean, they had that thing locked up a few times and allowed Princeton to get back and tie it, put it into overtime. Then they got the lead in overtime, and Princeton came back and tied it and put it in double overtime. But the players that they need to play well, Jamison Battle played well, Peyton Willis played well in the second overtime in particular. As a team, they missed a lot of free throws that they could have sealed that thing a lot sooner, but they went out to North Carolina. They beat Western Kentucky and Princeton. They really haven't played a really good team yet, but they're still 3-0, and for a team that's fragile, as they put this thing together, and certainly not projected or predicted to be a real factor of the Big Ten, this is a good start for them and a good confidence boost because it's going to get a lot tougher for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, speaking of hoops, the Wolves take on the Suns tonight right here on CCO, pregame 6:30, 7 o'clock tip-off. Wolves in a bit of a slump, stating the obvious, right?
Yeah, and talking about a team that's fragile, it needs a confidence boost. They blew out the Lakers out of nowhere on Friday. Now, LeBron James didn't play, but still. And then they got blown out by the Clippers. Third time the Clippers have beat them this year already. What is that? 7 out of 8 they've lost, whatever. And Phoenix obviously was in the NBA Finals last year, so they got some firepower coming in here. But they're just they're out of sorts a lot of times, and it's not that they can't play with teams, but they can't play with teams for 4 quarters. And I suppose a lot of teams in the NBA can say that. Most teams can play with you for a while, but they got to figure some things out here. I've never, they've got a good big three when Russell plays and Towns and Edwards. But you look after that, Jaden McDaniels, Josh Okogie, those aren't starters for the NBA. You need to fortify that a little bit more. Their bench isn't bad. Beverly gives them some energy. Naz Reid on some nights is pretty good. Malik Beasley, if he can get a little more consistent, can shoot the ball. But there's some holes there, and like I've said all along, the bigger hole, or the thing that you got to worry about more is the culture there, because when things start going sideways for the Timberwolves, tradition will tell you that players generally don't say, "Hey, we got to bear down now and get this done." It's more like, "How am I going to get out of here?" And then that usually doesn't lend itself to success or wins.
Hey, Maxie, I'm scrounging. I'm looking under rocks for good news. And I just wanted to ask you, my perception is that the virus is not having a material impact on high school football, on the playoffs, compared to last year at this time when everybody was in lockdown. What's your take on that?
Yeah, it's funny you say that, Paul, because it's been a non-story in high school sports in terms of, you haven't heard of a team. Last year I remember Chisago Lakes got there, they couldn't even play in the playoffs, and those kind of stories, there were a smattering of them. And this year, now keep in mind, and this is, somewhat, first they got vaccines if they want them. And second, they don't have a protocol like they do in college football or high school or in pro football. So you could, in essence, get the COVID virus and not report to anybody that you're not feeling well, and have it and build up antibodies. There's all kinds of things. There is no, there's standardized testing for high school kids. So therefore, I hate to say it this way, but if you don't want to test positive for COVID, don't get tested for COVID, and so that is a factor in this, but there has not been anything really that jumps off the page at me that says that I recall this fall. I'm glad you bring that up, where some team was decimated by it, or something happened where the star player couldn't play that week or changed the game. I haven't heard of anything like that in the last for this season, really.
Yeah, well, I'll take that as good news. I'll take that as a win. Thank you, Maxie. I appreciate it. All right, man.
Hello, I'm Jason Concepcion, former co-host of Binge Mode Ravenclaw with Gryffindor Rising, still repping the Night's Watch despite Season 8, and the host of Crooked Media's new podcast, X-Ray Vision. Every week, my guests and I will take you through the world of comic book movies, fantasy shows, and more. Join us as we deep dive into your favorite franchises, discuss fan theories, and the latest news. Listen now for free on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
With Farmers, you could get savings just for becoming a customer. It's a little extra something. So to tell you about it, we're adding a little extra something to this ad. Precious baby giggles. When you switch to Farmers, you could save an average of $437 on your home insurance. And that's a whole lot of something, baby. Aw, get a quote at farmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Based on average nationwide annual savings survey data July 2020 to 21, underwritten by Farmers Trucker Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate. Products not available in every state.
Angie's List is now Angie, and caring for your home just got easier. Whether you need help with routine maintenance or a dream remodel, Angie makes it easy to see reviews, compare quotes, and connect with top local pros who can get the job done right. Plus, you can see upfront pricing and instantly book hundreds of projects. No phone tag, just the work you need done at a time that works for you. Angie's got your to-do list covered from start to finish. Book your next home project today at Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.